What's going on, guys? It's your boy Random Guy Kev, and this is Thoughts of a Random Guy. We talk about many things dealing with love, dating, relationships, adulting, life's ups and downs, and the ever evolving world of just being a human. Don't forget to check me out on all your favorite social media platforms at Random Guy Kev and my website at randomguykev.com. Today's topic is, what does a relationship mean to you? And we're going to break this down a little bit, but my co host for this episode is.
What's up, guys? It's Tom.
What up, Tom? Thank you for joining me for this episode. And I guess for this episode, what does a relationship mean to you? Can you provide some people some insight on that?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like a lot of people, when they meet somebody and when the relationship is fresh, you know, it's one way, and then it always evolves into something, right? Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but it always evolves into something. And yeah, I thought it's an interesting topic to kind of talk about, like, your particular experiences, and I'll share
Mm-hmm.
mine.
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like, I may have touched on some of these pieces that we're going to talk about in different episodes, but what does a relationship mean to you? Like you can look at two different sides of a relationship: friendships and actual like intimate relationships. And for me, like not everybody's a friend. I don't consider everybody a friend. Um, and those are things that you build over time. That's rapport, a bond, and things of that nature. And I feel like, again, we all, as we grew up, we started to determine what we liked in our friend groups, what we liked for other people in our circles. And it's all about your friend circles and all about those circles that you have. Um, and for me, like a relationship means to me now, um, just I try not to, me personally, I don't look at other people's relationship. I look at it for me. And a lot of people look at what's going on online. Hey, story, this is a story tell. This is like, fantasy. This is how it should be, blah, blah, blah. No, relationships to me are ups and downs. No matter what you're going through with somebody, you're gonna hit bumps in the road. It's how you come out in the end. It takes two people to tango. It's never just one person. I've been in a space where I thought it was both of us working together to fix something or move forward past something, and it in fact was just me putting in all the effort to make the relationship work. Um, and I think what has changed for relationships now is, the access to everybody. You have access to everyone in a way, like social media. So social media provides you a lot of access to people. You got to think about, I guess, when we were coming up, where it was like, um, we started to get our own cell phones. Then MySpace started up, and it was like we weren't connected to it as much, but we were just like, oh, this is cool. This is the new thing. And then Facebook, Twitter. It was just like, if you look further back, I always loved, and I say this a lot, I love talking to older couples that are in long term relationships because it just kind of gives you an insight on what they had to go through versus what we have to go through now. And you know, it's different. They didn't have the amount of technology that we currently have to have access to someone. And I tell people a million times over, stop sharing your relationship. Like, people don't need to know. It's between you and that person. And I get it. Hey, we're so happy and gung ho about new things starting, but shut the hell up. Keep it to yourself until something actually develops and it becomes something. And even when it does become something, you keep that relationship to yourself as much as possible, especially the personal stuff that's supposed to just be you and the other person. What's changed now is that we have access to everybody, and people overshare what's going on in their relationship and just put it all over social media. So we're just sitting there like entertained by it, like, damn, this shit happens to people. Like, fuck, what's going on?
And sometimes it's you need to have a mutual decision on what to share too.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that's not considered, and it's not a good look. Um, one thing about relationships is, there's different stages to it, right?
Yep.
And I'll give you an example. there was a date I went on with my current now wife, right? When I first met her, I was not, how you say, I was not financially stable, you know, to the point where there was one time when we went out and I had like, uh, swear to God, I had like $50 to my name, bro. I think we all kind of been through that at least once.
At least once. Every other time, if I got the funds, I ain't going nowhere.
Well, this was early on.
Yeah,
This is
this
like,
early. You trying to impress?
yeah,
You
this
want
is
to lock
like,
her
we
in?
just had swiped each other, a month ago,
Hmm.
so I'm taking her out. Now, I'm not thinking about the funds until it was too late. Like,
Yeah.
I thought I was good. Um, and then, we make plans and we end up at a restaurant. And it's a fairly decent restaurant, I forget what it is, but I just remember the menu. When I saw the prices, I was like, damn, I forgot.
I ain't got it.
I don't know if I have this, bro.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was like, man, you know what? Let me run to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom, went on my bank account. I was checking to see if there's anything I could move around.
Yeah. Let me switch my savings to my checking.
Let me move this payment around to there, and
Yeah.
stress, man, stress. Came back with game plan. I was like, you know what? The waiter came. I was like, you know what? She had like a few minutes already with the menu. I
Hmm.
need to take action. I need to make sure I don't take this L, right? So
Hmm.
when the waiter comes, I'm like, you know what? We're gonna get the surf and turf.
Yeah.
All right, and I look at her. I'm like, you want the surf or the turf? like,
You
like
stupid.
it's got good shrimp. It's got good steak. Like which one do you want? And
Yeah.
then I got the baked potato.
Mhm.
So it's all very filling things. Bill came out to be like $40, and luckily she was like a very like healthy yoga girl. So um, that all kind of worked out in my favor. But my point in bringing that up is at that point our relationship was about the me trying my best to impress her.
Mhm.
Um, and then in the beginning, I think it's all about the other person,
Yeah.
right? Now
Always.
then, yeah, and then but once you get married, or once you're just a few years deep, you're living together. Um, it it kind of shifts over, and you have to focus on yourself.
Yeah.
You have to figure
Remember
out,
your own happiness.
yeah, you have to figure out why you're in this, right? Like
Hmm.
you can't depend on that person
Yeah.
to make you happy. You have to figure out what makes you happy, and that's a constant challenge. So to me, a relationship is, there's constant problems. Similar to the example of like, how do I get through this task to impress her, but how do you constantly look for answers to every problem that comes up? Now
Hmm.
we're a few years married. Every single day something tests me, man.
I believe it.
Something tests my
My brother be
patience.
in the same boat.
Yeah, man. And you have to be willing as a person in this relationship to constantly look for answers. And I think if the commitment between the two people is that you guys share that commitment,
Hmm.
then I think it's a good relationship, you know?
I agree. And the thing is, dating someone and being in a relationship now is completely it's changed. Whereas men would be more aggressive and try to get somebody and be with them and stuff like that. Now I think the table's been kind of flipped because of, and it's a conversation I was having with some people earlier about, you know, women want to be independent. Women want to do this their selves. They want to do this. So men feel like, okay, damn, you don't want me to open the door for you. You don't want me to do this. And it's like, some women don't want that anymore. They just, oh, chivalry is dead. But you kind of killed it because I was trying my best to, build something with you, some type of rapport where I show you I'm a gentleman and this X, Y, and Z, and you're just like, no, I'm an independent woman. Fuck you, kill yourself. It's like, bro, what? What's happening? And things have changed in the dating scene, relationship scene, because again, it takes two people to tango. A lot of people don't invest time into each other. And I think with the whole mental health thing going on, it's like as men, we're learning more about ourselves and learning to, if something's not good for us, to actually take a step back instead of keep going with it.
Yeah, we have to
And
accept our softer side, right?
yeah, it's supposedly accept our softer side, but when we do accept that softer side of us and get into our emotions, then it looks crazy. We're no longer men. That's a whole nother thing. But like again, I feel like relationships, you may see the good in somebody and you just want to take it slow, and other people take it fast. And it's just like you have to understand. You got to have that conversation of, all right, what's your speed? What are you looking for? Taking it slow, taking it fast. You know, continuing to learn about each other and learn about other people. Like, what's up? Because I've told people like, yo, straight up, like, I am terrified to like get into a relationship because of my situations in the past. Shit is like I give my all to somebody and they always use that against me, and it's like, bro, like maybe this isn't for me.
Well,
maybe this
Kev,
maybe
let
this
me ask you
relationship.
something, man. Let me ask
What
you
happened?
something. Let me ask you something.
Yep.
So being in these situations before, what do you think about compromise? Because I mean, every relationship requires a compromise, right?
Of course.
Like you have to be willing to, or else you're the red flag if you're not.
Uh huh.
But what do you think is compromise for you, or what do you expect someone to compromise with you?
Um, like I mean, I feel like therapy has helped me a lot to find myself and find what type of person I am and accept certain things in my life. Because I mean, my dad has accepted certain things when he was married, and he taught me like, hey, sometimes like you won't always make her happy, but when you can allow her to win here, win there, like especially if little things don't bother you, just let them go by. But it's when the little things mount up and become something big, that's when it's a problem. So it's always good to voice your opinion when you can, or voice your concerns when you can. But at the same time, you can't be the only one putting in work into the relationship. It has to be both of you. So when you say something, it's like if the person doesn't act on it, or you know doesn't acknowledge what you're saying, then there may be a problem there. So especially I've dealt with women that what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? That are great, but don't think they have any flaws in some way.
Right.
And I
They're
think we
always
all,
right.
yeah, yes. There's no like imperfection. It's all you fucked up. You did this, and it's like I can compromise up to a point, but I'm not going to compromise my entire self for for you to just be right the entire time. I can't. I'm not putting myself in a position like that ever again. Um, and granted, like if we can come to a conclusion, okay, we're both wrong. Fuck it. Let's move on. Let's see if we can improve and do better. Cool. I'm with it. But it's just one of those things. Like like for you, you're married, so it's like for me, when I get married, I don't believe in divorce. I don't. I mean, we can get a prenup and all that, but at the same time, if we can talk about an issue and find a way to compromise on it, or find a way to get past the issue, then it's like okay, cool, we figured it out. Versus some people who are just quick to be like, all right, we're married, and then they find a problem, it's like, oh no, fuck that, divorce, 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 and it's like, bro, what? Like it's a simple issue you could just talk about.
Well, sometimes it's all about timing. Like
Yeah.
you could meet someone in your mid 30s or early 40s, and it's still not the right time for maybe you or the other person.
Mm-hmm.
I think it for two people to truly be ready for a real relationship, um, you have to be willing to change your perspective, and that's my compromise with
Yeah.
when I met my wife. Was I had my life a certain way, and
Mhm.
she's a polar opposite, bro. Like, she's an artist. She loves colors. I was like, more of like parties. I like the black and white. I had a very different style. But um, you come in and you let this person show you some value that you've never seen before, right?
Mhm.
And to me, that's a happy compromise. I think the word compromise sounds so negative, but it doesn't
Yeah,
have to be,
it really
right?
doesn't.
Yeah, a happy compromise is like, damn, she introduced color into my perspective, and now I see shapes and colors way different, and it makes me happier. And so
Hmm.
it's a that's a very specific example, but I'm just saying, like,
No, I think it's solid. Yeah. No.
you have to accept a change to allow the change to positively affect both of you.
Hmm.
And I have a feeling, if there was ever a chance for her to answer the same question, like, she would have a similar answer, because I feel like there's a there was a period of time when we had to figure out what is what are we changing together to make this work. And the moment we found out, communication was great, and I think you truly know, okay, well, the timing of her and the timing of me, it's right at this time. So, Kev, like based on your what you were saying earlier, it sounds like it was like a timing situation,
I
man.
mean,
Like,
yeah.
these people were just maybe not mature enough to have these conversations with you.
I mean, yeah. No, it could be. Timing is, like you said, timing is like essential, and also being in the right mind space. And it's like when somebody tells me like, "Hey, I have these ambitions and goals, and I'm doing this, I'm doing that." It's like I never want to jump into something to make you change your goals and what your achievements want to be. Imagine like you got to keep doing those things even if I am here, like because for me personally, it's like all right, I'm looking at a role for my corporate job. I'm looking at a role in India that I'm interested in like applying for, but I would have to be in India for a year, and they would pay for relocation and stuff like that. For me to like jump in a relationship and put somebody through that, me transitioning into India for a year and like having to kind of travel back and forth to spend time. I don't know. I don't like burdening people.
Right.
I've never been like a type of I never want to burden people with shit that's going on with me. I always just want to, hey, like I'm not here to fuck up your happiness. Our happiness is supposed to come like we both have our separate happiness, but then when I add you on, it's supposed to add to the happiness I already have and created. It's not supposed to just make me happy. You get what I'm saying? So it's like I don't want to burden you with like something where it's, hey, I'm trying to figure out my career shit if I should just make this jump or stay where I'm at. Because there might be another opportunity for something else to come up that's in the States versus in a different country. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it takes a lot for communication to work. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like, I think everybody sees communication with a different light. Like, for example, for me, I like to be very straight up,
Yeah.
right? For my wife, she likes to just kind of leave things open ended a bit, but
Mm-hmm.
just to let me understand that, hey, like, I don't like this. Yeah, she just likes to let me understand, like, hey, I don't like this, but I don't have a specific example for you, right?
Yeah.
Whereas for me, I kind of need the example. I need you
Give me
to,
something. Yeah.
help me understand this to the fullest so I could
uh,
change. But she, it's different, and we have to understand each other. And I think that's why therapy, couples therapy, very underrated. I think a lot of
yeah.
people, again, see compromise and things like therapy in such a negative light, when it's
Mm-hmm.
it's a tool for you guys to overcome your current challenge and find the solution. And I think we should always be open to finding answers.
Yeah, and I think when you are dealing with other people, provide them grace. You have to provide them grace. We're all humans. At the end of the day, we view things differently, and we try our best to adjust. And even for me, I'm we're never perfect at all. We think we're saying the right things, but it's not the right things that we're saying or doing. And it's like, damn, I thought it sounds good in your head, but when you actually do it, it's like, damn, that I guess that wasn't right. That wasn't the right way to approach something.
That's expectation versus reality, right?
Word. The like so you being married, what changes like did you expect like afterwards? What did you see as change?
You know what? I thought it was going to be a situation of, we have to like do our own thing together. We need to go through every single like trial and tribulation together. We move out, we have a family and everything, and which some of them are true, right? But what I realized in reality is that um, the most important part, as I touched on earlier, was actually helping yourself
Mm-hmm.
within the relationship. Have we found out we have to value our times to ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
and times where I could go out with my friends, she could go out with her girls, and allow us to still be us. Like I thought we would have to turn into like the TV family, the whole like sitting around the dinner table, like doing all that. No,
Yeah.
it wasn't like that at all. I feel like we have an understanding that, hey, we're still kind of immature and young on the inside, and until we have a kid, we're gonna fully embrace that I'm still Tom and she's still her.
Yeah.
And you know everybody around me knows I like to go out and watch basketball and drink.
Mm-hmm.
Like that part of me hasn't been compromised because I think she understands that I need to have that to be who I am.
Yeah.
And then I let her go out with her friends and do whatever they need to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's all good because we have what we do have, and what did happen with the expectation is the trust in that, hey, like, you're holding your stuff down, I'm holding my stuff down. um she's great. She knows, like, hey, Tom hates doing dishes, he hates doing laundry, so that's what I'm gonna do,
Mm-hmm.
right? And she took that upon herself, and that's her decision, and I appreciate her every day for it, right? Switching it back though, like I don't mind at all picking up extra projects or whatever to spoil her.
Yeah.
So it's just like we kind of picked and chose different parts of expectations that we made reality. But that what actually happened was, like, we only picked some of them. We didn't really turn into that vision that I think everyone has when you think about getting married.
Yeah. No, I think everybody's vision is different, of course. When they look at relationships and then when they look at marriage, and you know, when you get into that relationship space, it's like I don't care how old you are. I feel like when you get into that relationship space, you look at, can I be with this person forever? Can I compromise, or can I compromise on something? Can I not compromise on things? Like, can I provide this person grace on certain aspects? And why aren't their beliefs similar to mine and things of that nature? Like, again, we're all different people at the end of the day. And the person you get with, if you believe in staying with them forever, like me, it's just one of those things that you're gonna have to learn how to compromise and accept certain things that they do. It's like one night, like you're watching basketball, right? And she's just sitting there watching it with you, and then she's like, "Hey, watch one of my shows with me."
Yeah.
And it's just like, damn, I could say no, but she just sat here and just watched the whole game with me. So it's like, damn. Let me, I guess. And the next thing you know, you love that show that she's watching.
Oh, it sounds like it's a very specific example, Kev.
I mean, I feel like a lot of my male friends that this That's literally what happens though.
Hey,
We're
I'm
just
not
like,
gonna lie, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Bridgerton's a pretty good show, bro.
I can't even get to that. I can't even get into that show. But you see, but it's like, I mean, that's a way you compromise um, with her. It's just kind of, and you probably like subconsciously didn't even think you compromised with her. You just kind of was like, all right, I'll just sit here. I'll sit here and be in your space. And then you started paying attention to the show, like, damn, okay, what's happening? What episode we on episode 4? That's crazy. What's happening next episode?
I'll tell you this though. I think one really good way to tell if the person you're dating is great relationship material is to observe how they treat their friends. You
Mm,
know, I think that's something that I picked up, and um, I've dated people who were all about just their relationship, and they treated their friends like crap.
like crap.
Um,
Yep.
right, and then you get more into the relationship, and that flips on you, and you're gonna find out she's gonna care more about herself because that's kind of what she was doing to her friends. So it's a to me that's a tip that I I truly believe in is like pay attention to how she treats her friends, her family, and that'll be an indication of how she treats you.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I think any male or female, like, watch how they treat their friends and family, because that could, generally tell you how they're gonna treat you. But I mean, on the flip side, playing devil's advocate, there's stuff out there where it's like people treat their family very well, but then they get with you and they treat you terribly. So that I mean, that's still a case that does happen. Like, and it's weird for me. Like, it's interesting when I see like um, men who were raised by single women in their lives, aunties, their mom, sister, and stuff like that, and they treat women terribly. And the same thing goes for women that have been raised by just men in their lives. So it's like eh, that what you just said. Yeah, it I feel like that's 90% of the population, and the other 10% is just like, yo, fuck this. I'll treat you how I feel like treat you. I don't care who raised me, who's my friends, who I've been around.
I know, I agree. I think there's definitely a lot of different situations that are exceptions.
Mm-hmm.
I personally think you know the the way they treat their family is an indication of you know who they are as a person and their
Yeah.
identity, right?
Yep.
I feel like a lot of people I've met who did not have good backgrounds, they tend to have some like trust issues, you know.
Yeah.
One example is like you know I had a friend that definitely went through a lot of issues with her parents, you know, to the point where I'm not sure if she really like lived with them. I think she chose to live with her aunt instead,
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of shaped the rest of her life, right? So yeah, definitely like the family aspect of it is very tricky.
Yeah.
You know, and then I've seen where like people had great families, but that backfired when you're great, you seem like you're a great family, but then you this person goes out and then wants to do everything they couldn't do
Yeah.
within the family. So
Within the yep.
yeah.
Which is nuts, and I think you know when it comes to like expectations versus reality in relationship and marriage, I feel like people have very skewed expectations only because well, a good number of people, I want to say 75% have skewed expectations of what a relationship is and what a marriage is because of how they see things, how they see couples and stuff on social media, especially those people that don't know how to disconnect from social media. So they're just seeing these things often. And again, we have so much access to people that we can, and people overshare that we're just sitting there watching it like it's a TV show. Like, damn, that shit crazy. Like, is this what a relationship is? Is this what marriage is?
And it's kind of interesting you mentioned that. Like I have another example where my friend and his, I believe, fiance, yeah, I think their fiance, it's his fiance, but um, he used to tell me that when they went on dates, he would feel more lonely than if he was at home by himself. Reason being is because she's one of those people that just constantly stays on her phone. You know, she's
Damn.
constantly like they could be out, they could be like taking spending the whole day together.
And she's just on her phone.
She's on her phone, right? She's constantly like doing something. So
Damn.
in return, he felt more at peace being alone because he didn't feel like someone was there kind of ignoring him, right? And I think that's
Damn.
one of those like new like our generation type problems that now people talk about.
Yeah, that sucks. Cause you don't like to feel alone, especially when you're out with somebody or you're in somebody's space. And it's like if you're in my space, like I mean, depending on the situation, if we're in the same space, it's a date night. Like focus on me for a little bit or something. Like if you want to take pictures of the food, go ahead, or what we're doing, cool. But like, don't be in your phone having full blown conversations with other people. Like, damn,
You know, like did you
yeah,
even see what I have on? Like it's scary to think that that's where things are at, but there are people out there that's just and I'm guilty a little bit. Like there's
hmm
times when I catch myself like, hey, I gotta put my phone down.
yeah. I normally put my phone on do not disturb and stuff it in my pocket.
That's smart.
Um, and like even now, like my phone is normally on silent or on vibrate, so I'm not always glued to my phone. There's a conversation I was having with somebody about paying more, being more in the now,
Right.
being more in the now because let me turn this off, let me put my phone to the side, let me not I mean, granted, hey, we might have some type of emergency happening, but at the same time, like I'm paying attention to what's going on in front of me right now, and that's all I should be doing.
I think if this is something that your partner has maybe hinted or whatever, like it's a compromise you have to make. You gotta give up the phone time.
Yeah, word. Nah, I agree, and I think have a discussion. Don't be afraid to have a discussion with your person. Talk to them, like, and that's the thing. I've noticed with a lot of couples nowadays, people don't really talk to each other about like these certain things. Like, hey, let's have a conversation. I noticed that you're always on the phone when we go out. Can we just, when we do go out, can we just disconnect for like, an hour or so? Like I don't care if you take a picture or something of where we're at or a video where we're at, but just disconnect. It's just me and you right now.
Because I think society has become so like unconfrontational, man.
No, really, very unconfrontational. And if you are confrontational, then people have a problem with it.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, they'll say you're being extra, but no, like
No,
I'm trying to get us to the next get us to the next stage,
yeah,
Um
and I agree.
yeah, so I feel like people are, whether it's at work, with family or friends, people are just very unconfrontational. So if you're scared of confrontation, you're now being super passive aggressive. How do you expect to get past the big challenges in life together,
Mhm.
right? So I think that's a big problem that us as a society we should try and solve.
Yeah, I mean, stuff like that takes time, of course, but people are quick to, be keyboard warriors and rather text it versus talking, or rather type it versus talking, and that helps them get by. Um, I think that, again, setting specific expectations and then versus watching what reality really brings to you is just different. And people see things online, they're just like, oh, so it should be like this, and then in reality it doesn't turn out like that. So I just at the end of the day, just let it rock. But as we get to the end of this episode, what do you want to leave people with in regards to our topic?
I just want to reiterate one thing, which is, you should approach everything and every problem every situation as, with a mentality to find a solution. That's my biggest advice to this whole thing. There's no such thing as fair. I think fair is a human-made concept, and you think about different people with different situations at the start of their life. Like, there's no balance. Fair is not real. So instead of trying to force fair or fairness, look for solutions, and if you do that, things will be a lot smoother, I think.
Well, thank you for that. And that's it for this episode, guys. You can find me on all social media platforms at Random Guy Kev and my website, randomguykev.com. Don't forget to check in, and I will catch you guys on the next one.